Welcome to Made with Love. My name is Treasure. This is my very first video, so we're gonna do this together. May not be perfect, but it's gonna be fun, and really honestly, isn't that what creating is about? So today we have 5 projects, and I have all of the supplies right here so that we can get ready. Let me show you what I have. I have this really cool pair of jeans that, okay, I have a question. Do you get paint all over your clothes, like your brand new clothes? Because I do. So my husband bought me these jeans because I had the exact same pair and I had gotten paint on them. Got them the first day, I got paint on them. So we're gonna fix that today. So there's those and some journals. And so I'm gonna show you that idea. I love to make bunting, and so I thought we could do some bunting together. Also, something that sells in my booth a lot is like block art, meaning I take old wood and I put art on it and it sells. It's very cool. We're gonna also use some of this fabric to do some hanging art, and we're gonna do all of these projects using this amazing rice paper. This rice paper is created by Connie from Connie's Lines and Designs. I happen to be a stockist for her. This is gold. She hand paints these papers and they are beautiful. You also might need, hold on, this is awkward, but I just want you to have everything. You might also want to grab some liquid patina from DIY for this, and then you're gonna need like a paintbrush and you're gonna need some scissors. Might be a few other things, but this is basically what we're gonna need. So if you're ready, let's get started. For project number 1, we're gonna work on those patches for the pants. And right here, I'm just kind of measuring out where I want the patches. I want to make them a little bigger than the area that I'm going to need to cut away. I'm using canvas for the back of the patches because canvas is really sturdy, so it should wear well. Once I get these cut out, I'm going to pick the design that I want, the part of the design on the paper that I want to be in the patches. You can get creative here. For instance, I use the flower pot on one of the patches, not because you will be able to see that it's a flower pot, but just because I thought that the design on it was really cute. So we're just gonna go ahead and outline these and then cut them out. Now when I cut them out, I'm cutting them to be the size of the canvas. We're going to use our DIY liquid patina to bind these together, and so we just want to make sure that these are pretty much the same size. You want to get that liquid patina on your canvas really well and then spray the back of your rice paper with water. That helps the fibers expand, and then the canvas is going to soak up a lot of your liquid patina, so you just want to be really generous. And then once you get it on there really good, go ahead and do a few coats on top. Let it dry, then recoat it. You've got to remember you want this to wear well. If you put a few coats on, it should wear well. Here, I'm just figuring out my placement for the patches. You are going to take it to your sewing machine and sew around that square, and then once you get that sewn, you just cut out the inner piece, and there you have a perfectly patched pair of jeans. I sent mine through the wash and they made it through fine. Project number 2. For project number 2, we're doing these fun journals. Listen, I got all these journals at the Dollar Tree for what, $1.25 each. You can pick a journal that you're gonna paint. You can pick a journal that you're just gonna cover over. In my case, I liked the back of the journal, but the front, I'm gonna paint white, just so that when I decoupage my rice paper on top of it, the design doesn't show through. So here I just took DIY's crinoline. You could really use any color. I do suggest painting white underneath because it does help the design pop. You don't have to, obviously, but in my case I wanted to. So the other trick with rice paper is, instead of just cutting a straight line with scissors and having a perfect edge, I like to take my paintbrush like you saw me doing and get it wet and then tear away the paper. Just gives it kind of more of a natural edge. The other thing that I wanted to mention is DIY paint. Man, DIY paint is so great and versatile, and until you seal it, you can just do so much with it. Like here, I had it on the edges and I wanted kind of a more distressed edge, and so I was able to just get that rag wet and wipe it away to kind of a distressed edge. Now I'm going to cover the whole front with my liquid patina, because with DIY paint you do want to seal it up. And then again, I sprayed the back of that rice paper with some water to expand the fibers, and now here I'm just going to place it where I want it, press it down. Rice paper is pretty sturdy, so you can be a little more aggressive with it without it ripping. I do like that. And here you go. Pretty simple. It's a great thing to give away as a gift or to keep for yourself. Project number 3 is one of my favorite things to make, homemade bunting, and it's actually really simple. I love to use pages from old worn out books, and here we go again with that canvas. Canvas is super cheap and very sturdy and acts as a great backer. So we're just gonna trace out the design on both the canvas and the book page. And then when we cut the canvas out, we'll cut right there on that line, but you'll notice in a minute when I go to cut the book page out, I'm just gonna cut on the inside of that line, so we'll see a layered look. I also wanted to point out, I am very careful to not use my material scissors on paper. Paper will dull your scissors, so I just marked my material scissors with an M. That was for free for you guys. Okay, so here we are kind of picking out which rice paper we're gonna use, and I'm just trying to get like the nonsense out of the way, the extra, and then kind of figuring out how I'm gonna place it on that book paper. And then we'll do our old trick where we just kind of outline the edges of what we want to take away. Again, I really like this. It gives it a more natural edge than if I were to cut it. You could cut it if you wanted a more precise edge. I think that would be fine too. In this case, I'm just trying to tear it away so that it almost would appear when I go to layer it on that book page like maybe it was already there. There's no exact line for your eye to rest on. So by kind of giving that torn look, you'll see in a minute, it almost looks like it was actually a part of that book page, and you can kind of even see once we start decoupaging on, you can kind of see the lettering behind it. So this is one of my favorite little tools. I think you can probably get this on Amazon. I think I got mine at Hobby Lobby. But it's just some distressing ink, and it just really gives kind of an old vintagey feel to the paper, gives some interest and helps with the layering. So I'm just gonna take my paper and do what I always do, spritz the back of that rice paper, give a good coating of the liquid patina to my surface. And then for smaller decoupaging, I just do the whole thing, but you wanna, for a larger piece, you wanna work in sections. This is so small, it's fine. You're just gonna give it a good coat and then let it dry. If you want your edges of the canvas to be a little distressed, you can use some sandpaper just to rough up the edges a little bit. You don't have to, I just kinda like that distressed look. Okay, here I'm using the typesetting stamp set from IOD, and I will say this is one of my favorite stamp sets. It's so versatile, there's so many things you could do with it. I really love making bunting for my home because it's just an inexpensive way to bring the holiday season in, or celebrate a birthday, or even just in between, just having something cute to be able to hang on your mantle, across a shelf, across a window. There's just all kinds of possibilities. So here I'm just stamping out the word fall. You don't have to put letters, you can just use pictures if you want. I just thought it would be cute to do fall with those cute flowers. Now once you get everything stamped out and everything the way you want it, you're just going to go ahead and layer them together by either gluing down that top part, or you can sew it. And then this is just extra. I just thought it would be cute to do a little splatter effect, so you can take whatever color you want of the DIY paint. It's so versatile. You can water it down, you can use it thick. There's so many ways to use it. Here I watered it down so I could just kind of splash just a little bit of color on to the banner, just to, I don't know, give it a little bit of a playful look. And then once you have it like you like it, you're done, and here you go, a cute little fall banner. It hardly cost anything. But project number 4 is another one of my favorites, these decorative wood blocks. You just use scrap wood and whatever your favorite papers are, and I don't know, it's just kind of relaxing. So I'm using liquid patina, and one of my favorite DIY colors, it's weathered wood. I love to use DIY paint watered down as a faux stain because you don't have to worry about toxins. You could do it in the house, and it dries really fast. So once you get that stain on the back, on the front, you're gonna wanna paint it white where you're gonna decoupage the rice paper on, just so it can pop. And then DIY paint dries really quickly. I'm helping it out here a little bit, but here I'm ready to go ahead and decoupage. And this is what I was talking about, working in layers. So you just wanna spray your paper and get your liquid patina down on the surface, and then get it laid down on there and lift the other side up and keep repeating in sections until you get the whole thing down. You also, when you first get your brush full of the liquid patina, you want to try to stay away from the edge of the paper just so you don't get some glops of the liquid patina stuck under the paper. You just rub it all down and give it a coat on top. And you're gonna let it dry. Once it's dry, you can go ahead and sand the edges. The trick here is to sand downward. People that have problems with the sanding part typically are not raising the sander up in between. So just make sure you sand down and then pull away. And then here we're just gonna do a little bit of that faux distressing on the edges to give it just a little bit of character. You can do this if you want, you don't have to. It actually looks cute without it too. I just like that distressed look. And then we're gonna go ahead and seal up that paint that was on the back. Remember, when you're working with DIY paint, it's so flexible and versatile. You can do so much with it. And then once you're ready and you have it the way you want it, you go ahead and put a clear coat and it just pops. And then lastly, I like to wrap twine around the top of it. Sometimes you don't have to do this step, and I just kind of do it because I figure like it gives it a little bit of dimension. And honestly, my customers can take that right off if they don't want it. But there you go. These are really great sellers. They're kind of relaxing to make, and they look so cute in your booth. Now for project number 5, we're going to do one last decoupage project, and here we're working with a bigger piece. So I went ahead and spritzed the canvas as well to kind of start opening those fibers up. Gave it some real good coating of the liquid patina, and then in this case, because it's a larger surface, I'm going to spray down my rice paper and then also put the liquid patina on the back of it. I just figured that would help the two surfaces bond a little better, and it actually did help. So I'm just going to keep repeating this process all the way through until they're adhered together. And once I have them all together, I'm just going to smooth out that surface, let it dry, and then we're going to go ahead, once it's dry, and just trim those edges off. You don't want to see that canvas sticking out. Now I just take, once this part is done, I just take some inexpensive molding and cut it a little wider than the picture. Stain it with my DIY paint, and then here you'll see I'll glue a piece of the molding to the back edge of the picture and get it on there really good. And then once I do that, you'll see I'm gonna glue this other piece onto the front edge. For the top, I'll get that little piece of twine stuck in between so that it has a hanger. just like that. And then once I get these together and I make sure that everything is nice and even, I'll just take these clamps that you can kind of see on the side there and clamp it down. I love Titebond because it dries clear and also dries quickly, so you really only have to keep those clamps on for maybe about 10 minutes. Just gonna repeat the process on the bottom, and I'm telling you guys, this is money. This is so inexpensive to make. It turns out absolutely beautiful. They sell pretty fast in my booth, and I actually really love having these in my home too. It's just a fun way to bring a pop of the holiday season into your home and have just a beautiful piece of art. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. Hey, babe.
Hi.
This is my husband, Tony. He helps me behind the scenes a lot with woodworking and what else?
Tech.
So I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Hey, what was your favorite project today?
Oh, my favorite project. Oh, definitely the crow. This old piece of wood redone up to make it look really nice.
Yeah, I like that one too. I think my favorite though was the journal. So I got to meet Connie in person at a retreat recently, and she actually has journals that she has printed with her beautiful artwork on them. She raffled some off and I didn't win. I know, I was bummed. I tried to arm wrestle for one, didn't get it, so I thought, okay, I'll just go home and make my own. So, yeah. So if you're inspired and you want to make your own, whether it's the bunting or the journal or the patches on the jeans or any of the other projects, and you need some paper, want to jump on Connie's website and support her, that would be fantastic. I'll leave a link below. She also has the IOD stamps. If you are local and you want to purchase the paper, I have that in my booth at the Antique Armoire in Outwater. And one more thing, in case you didn't know, you were made with love.
So go out and change the world.
Thanks for joining us.